a lot has happened this week, so let's dive right in. First up, the US veto at the Security Council. No surprises here. This EU-fated draft resolution on Gaza was not adopted. Now, the US will have to explain its veto in front of the General Assembly. But before that, Palestinian Ambassador Riyad Mansour urged countries to take matters into their own hands.
We need to move forward in the direction of mobilizing everyone to act in their national capacity. We're not.
You don't expect the US
Well, if you send weapons to Israel, stop sending weapons to kill Palestinian children. If you did not recognize the state of Palestine, recognize the state of Palestine.
You can feel his disappointment in the Security Council, especially with the country that cast the veto. While on the other side, Israel kept its position firm on Hamas. Lay down your weapons or there will be no ceasefire.
Ask yourself why we got the hostages back so far. Because of the military pressure. So if Hamas would release the hostages, lay their weapons down, then we can speak about a ceasefire. If they will not do it, we will force them. The hostages will come back home, either through negotiations or through military power.
So what did the Secretary General say about this vote? Do you feel disappointed about yesterday's result?
Of course, as I said, we are always disappointed when ceasefire does not materialize, releases are not hostages, and humanitarian aid is not distributed or is distributed in a way that puts at risk the life of so many Palestinians.
Also this week, the UN made it clear Israel is obstructing its humanitarian operations in Gaza, while at the same time supporting the Gaza Humanitarian Fund. GHF delivered nearly 6 million meals in the past week. That's what they claimed. Why there's such a difference between the UN operation and the GHF?
Listen, first of all, whether or not the numbers they're sharing are correct or not, it's not for me to say. And again, as I've said, I think having more journalists in Gaza to report firsthand would be best. But let's be clear, the Israeli authorities are facilitating one distribution channel and hampering another.
Now, some other headlines. This week, the General Assembly elected the president for its upcoming 80th session. Germany's former foreign minister, Annalena Baerbock. But here's where it gets interesting. The election was actually put to a secret ballot, something that rarely happens. Sources told us it was Russia that requested the vote. And surprisingly, Baerbock's challenger Schmid still received 7 votes. Clearly, Baerbock didn't have Russian support. Then what about the United States? Well, even the interim US ambassador mispronounced her name. Not much efforts here.
We look forward to a mutually respectful and constructive working relationship with Ms. Annalena Baerbock.
Well, it's going to be a tough year ahead for Ms. Baerbock. And here she is answering my question. What's your plan for the General Assembly to shoulder its responsibility and make a difference?
We know from the last 80 years that sustainable peace is depending on sustainable development for countries. So this is how I see also the role for the General Assembly, and this is why it was important for me to underline the importance of the SDGs in the upcoming year, as it was also highlighted in the Pact for the Future.
Also this week, the General Assembly elected 5 new non-permanent members to the Security Council for next year. The Democratic Republic of Congo, Bahrain, Liberia, Colombia, and Latvia. Here's what some of the foreign ministers had to say after the vote. Are you ready to work with all other permanent members of the Security Council, especially Russia?
Listen, we work for concrete outcomes. We want to bring peace and security to Ukraine. We want to bring peace and security to other regions. We will do what is necessary to achieve that.
DRC put more focus on the issue in the eastern border of DRC in the Security Council agenda while you're the member of the Security Council?
We will most certainly come to the Security Council bearing the experience of a country that knows what it is like to have decades of conflict, that has a thorough understanding of the challenges of peacekeeping operations and protection of civilians issues, as well as the convergence between conflict, natural resources, and environmental changes.
Two-state solution of Palestine will be on your agenda in the Security Council.
Our diplomatic and political efforts are to increase the number of countries recognizing the state of Palestine.
And finally, let's end on a lighter note. The annual UN Bazaar hosted by the United Nations Delegation Spouse Club was held this week. It's a global feast. You can try foods from all over the world and all proceeds go to humanitarian causes.
We hope to raise more funds so that we'll be able to give everyone in the selected countries, everybody will be able to benefit. But most of all, we want to show that United Nations is a place for all countries, and we're so glad that we have all the regions represented. I think that is what I would take away from this one.
The only downside? Cash only. And I'm not a cash person, so I could only afford one Portuguese tart.
Just one, yeah, just one. I cannot even afford two.
Well, that's all from me.